Hello, everybody. I am going to do a quiz. Haven't done one of these in a while. This is How Evil Are You? Finding out which Disney villain I am. I know which one I am in my heart. So let's find out if I am who I think I am. Who's your inner Disney villain? As much as every story needs a good hero to save the day, the real driving force is an excellent villain to move the story along. Disney has since perfected the classic cartoon villain with many iconic and memorable characters recognizable in every generation. They're eccentric, fashionable, and funny, and sometimes even relatable. Maybe you can relate to Maleficent's rage at not being invited to the party, or you're bitter about being looked over as a second-born son like Scar. Or maybe you can relate to Cruella's vain obsession with fashion, or perhaps Hades' sense of humor is just too funny to pass up. Take this quiz and reveal the Disney villain in you. Fingers crossed that my computer will let us actually do the quiz. It's been doing weird things lately. I'm using the Chrome browser, and a lot of times it will just say not responding, and we'll sit here for anywhere from 30 seconds to an hour before it lets me do anything. Who's your favorite Disney villain? I have to choose from those four, but my favorite's not in that list. Okay, so I don't know Hades because I never watched. Was it Hercules? Is that the one he's in? I never watched that. Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, Scar. I don't believe in killing puppies to wear them as fur coats. So that leaves Maleficent or Scar. I mean, yeah, it hurts to not get invited to stuff, but is that really enough to turn you evil? I guess I'll go with Scar. My favorite is Ursula. Why is she not listed? And here we go with page unresponsive. I knew this was going to happen. For some reason, my computer doesn't want me to have good videos. I suppose, I don't know, is this keeping me from recording as well? Or is it just the page that's unresponsive? I don't know. Are you getting me? I mean, I can see me moving around and stuff when I check the OBS, so I guess. Well, shall we do a book haul while we wait? Oh, maybe it's going to do something now. See, it says I reached for books. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my son picked up some today. That's the one I'm reading right now, but it's not a whole book. Okay. Thing I clicked a while ago, why are we not progressing? Okay, so my son picked up 2 books today at the library. Keep in mind he's 22. But I think he has fond memories of this series. He picked up If You Take a Mouse to School. We read If You Give a Mouse a Cookie so many times when he was little. So I'm thinking maybe he's just having a bit of nostalgia when he picked this one up. It's in pretty rough shape. But you know what? It's a classic. He also picked up this one, which fell apart. I mean, it's in 2 chunks now. This is Elvis, What Happened? 3 of his closest companions tell a shocking, bizarre story. Dark Other Side of the Brightest Star in the World. I'm going to guess it was in the freebie basket at the library because split apart. But I think I can get some tape and just tape the spine of it and it'll be alright. So I guess this is kind of a... Let's see. Steve Dunleavy has woven together the experiences of 3 Presley bodyguards who were there partying with him, womanizing with him, worrying with him, tasting the pleasure and pains of life with the most fabulous star in showbiz history. So I guess we're going to get some dirt and scandal. Excuse me. I don't want to see your video. I want you to move on to the next screen. Why are we not progressing? Hard to do a quiz when it won't progress to the next thing. Well, let's go to the next book then. Next book, Watch Me by Brenda Novak. And it is 3rd in a series, which I didn't know when I picked it up. Sounds like something I would enjoy. Someone tried to kill her 12 years ago. Teenagers Sheridan Cole and Jason Wyatt were parked at the lake in White Rock, Tennessee, when a stranger wearing a ski mask shot them both. Sheridan lived, but Jason died, and the stranger was never caught. Even though Sheridan's family moved away right afterward, she's never been able to put the crime behind her. And now that someone doesn't want her to come home. Because of a new development in the case, Sheridan returns to White Rock, but when she's attacked a second time, it's only because of Jason's stepbrother, Kane Granger, that she survives, and Kane's the last person she wants to face. If not for their history, if not for her, Jason wouldn't have been in that parked car. Kane knows that whoever killed his brother probably isn't a stranger at all, but figuring out that person's identity is easier said than done, especially since the killer seems to be taunting them both. Watch Me. This is from the Mira imprint, so it's like a Harlequin romantic suspense. The Mira imprint tends to have some pretty good books. Brenda Novak's an author I've been following for a while. I haven't read any of her books that I can think of offhand. I have a couple of them around. Apparently, the first 2 books are Trust Me and Stop Me, and I believe there's like 3 more after. I think it's a dual trilogy thing. Anyway, there's that. I don't know if I have to read those in order, if I need to read books 1 and 2 before I get into 3 or not. I also have a copy of Goodbye Mr. Chips by James Hilton. Apparently this book was written back in 1933, published in 1934. I thought it was a more recent book than that. This edition was published in 1963. But it's about... Goodbye Mr. Chips is the story of a wonderful, gentle English schoolmaster whose name has become beloved throughout the world. There's not another book, with the possible exception of Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which has quite the same hold on readers' affections. James Hilton wrote Mr. Chips in loving memory of his schoolmaster father and in tribute to his profession. Over the years, it has won an enduring place in world literature and made untold millions of people smile with a catch in their throat. Sounds interesting, and it's not very long. I mean, you can see it's just a skinny little thing. How many pages? 115 pages? Oh man, I just spoiled myself. I saw the last line. And then I have Rod Serling's Night Gallery. If you're familiar with the Twilight Zone, you know who Rod Serling is. He's the guy that created it. Night Gallery was the show he had prior to that. So it's a similar style of show, maybe a little more sci-fi-ish. But this is a collection of stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 6 stories that were part of the Night Gallery. This again is another short book. It's only 147 pages. Maybe I can read it in October. Maybe. We'll see what happens with this job I just started, or am trying to start. I have a CPR class this evening for my new job. I'm a little confused with the job so far because, well, I haven't actually done anything yet. I've just done a little bit of stuff on the computer, and yesterday we had orientation, which is basically filling out our tax forms. The stuff that the girl who did our orientation said was different than what the owner of the company who did my interview said. So I'm a little concerned. But when I'm going in early today so I can finish the little bit of stuff on the computer before the CPR class, and his wife will be there so I can ask her. She seems to be real friendly and open and willing to talk about anything. So I'll see. I'm a little confused because he said this and she said that. What exactly is the deal? Because I was interested in the job the way he described it. I'm less interested in it the way she described it. And I hate for them to train me for me to just be like, no, this isn't at all what I was told I was going to be doing. And then, feel the need to not stay. I don't want to be that person. Why is this not progressing to the next page? I'm on the last book. Okay, so the last book I picked up was The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. The back says, "My dear and unfortunate successor, it is with regret that I imagine you, whoever you are, reading the account I must put down here. The regret is partly for myself, because I will surely be at least in trouble, maybe dead, or perhaps worse, if this is in your hands. But my regret is also for you, my yet unknown friend, because only by someone who needs such vile information will this letter someday be read. If you are not my successor, in some other sense, you will soon be my heir. And I feel sorrow at bequeathing to another human being my own, perhaps unbelievable, experience of evil. Why I myself inherited it, I don't know, but I hope to discover that fact eventually, perhaps in the course of writing to you, or perhaps in the course of further events." I saw this mentioned in somebody's video a couple days ago, and I think it has something to do with Vlad the Impaler. To you, perceptive reader, I bequeath my history. Late one night, exploring her father's library, a young woman finds an ancient book and a cache of yellowing letters. The letters are all addressed to my dear and unfortunate successor, and they plunge her into a world she never dreamed of, a labyrinth where the secrets of her father's past and her mother's mysterious fate connect to an inconceivable evil hidden in the depths of history. The letters provide links to one of the darkest powers that humanity has ever known, and to a centuries-long quest to find the source of that darkness and wipe it out. It is a quest for the truth about Vlad the Impaler, the medieval ruler whose barbarous reign formed the basis of the legend of Dracula. Generations of historians have risked their reputations, their sanity, and even their lives to learn the truth about Vlad the Impaler and Dracula. Now one young woman must decide whether to take up this quest herself, to follow her father in a hunt that nearly brought him to ruin years ago, when he was a vibrant young scholar and her mother was still alive. What does the legend of Vlad the Impaler have to do with the modern world? Is it possible that the Dracula of myth truly existed, and that he has lived on century after century, pursuing his own unknowable ends? The answers to these questions cross time and borders, as first the father and then the daughter search for clues from dusty Ivy League libraries to Istanbul, Budapest, and the depths of Eastern Europe. In city after city, in monasteries and archives, in letters and in secret conversations, the horrible truth emerges about Vlad the Impaler's dark reign and about a time-defying pact that may have kept his awful work alive down through the ages. Parsing obscure signs and hidden texts, reading codes worked into the fabric of medieval monastic traditions, and evading the unknown adversaries who will go to any lengths to conceal and protect Vlad's ancient powers, one woman comes ever closer to the secret of her own past in a confrontation with the very definition of evil. Elizabeth Kostova's debut novel is an adventure of monumental proportions, a relentless tale that blends fact and fantasy, history and the present, with an assurance that is almost unbearably suspenseful and utterly unforgettable. This sounds interesting. It's a chunker. How long is it? 642 pages. Yeah, that's a pretty good sized book. If I can find it on audio, then I have a better shot at actually getting it read. But it sounds right up my alley. I do like vampires, and I'm interested in Vlad the Impaler, so I think that'll be interesting to say the least. Oh, duh, and that's why it won't go. I click on next question. Here I did that whole book haul when it could have been a separate video. Oh, because I didn't scroll down far enough. Why is it when I do book hauls I always sneeze or have my sinuses do crazy stuff? How do you feel about sidekicks? I don't need anyone. I don't really care about them as long as they do as I say. I need them to do my dirty work. I'm not getting my hands dirty. I'd rather have a loyal pet who's more like a family member. I'd rather have a loyal pet. I sure hope that it's more than just the 4 that were offered as choices in the first question, because if there's the only 4 choices, I'm not crazy about any of them. What's one word that would describe your style? Extravagant, comfortable, avant-garde, elegant. Comfortable. I'm all about comfort. If I'm not comfy, nobody's going to be happy. Which reminds me, I got to change clothes before I go to do my training tonight. I'm going to switch out of jeans and into sweats because it's CPR. We're going to be crawling on the floor. What superpower would you like to have? Mind control, super strength, invisibility, shape-shifting. Oh boy. There are times when each of them would be kind of a cool thing to have. Why are you popping a stupid video up on top of stuff? Stop it. Maybe not mind control so much, because I wouldn't want somebody controlling my mind. I mean, there are times when it would be nice, but... or useful. More useful than nice. But I don't think I would want to necessarily be controlling somebody else's mind, because I wouldn't want mine controlled. Invisibility, there's a lot of times when that would be useful. Shape-shifting, that could be fun. Super strength, I'm not overly strong. Actually, I'm kind of weak. My brother's coming in tonight, and the main purpose for his visit is because of my toilet. It has been leaking for a while, and I can't turn the knob on the valve to shut the water off to the tank, so I can't get the leak to stop, because if I can't turn the water off, it's going to keep leaking. Well, another leak has developed in a different place where it actually connects to the tank. And I've been sopping water up like crazy. I've got towels down on the floor to soak it up, and every time I go in the bathroom I have to wring the towels out a couple times, mop more water up. It's getting ridiculous. First thing I need him to do is turn that damn water off. Because I couldn't get it, my son couldn't get it. Sorry, excuse me. I just don't have the strength in my hands. I could not get that thing to turn. I even took a hammer and kind of tapped it a little bit, but I didn't want to hit it too hard because I didn't want it to like break. I just kind of tapped at it, and that didn't help either. So I don't know. But luckily he's coming in this weekend, and he's going to put a new toilet in for me. I bought a toilet back in 2020, May of 2020. It actually arrived on Mother's Day. We had just replaced the sink like maybe a month before that. I had the plumber come in and replace it, and I was going to call the plumber and have him come in and put in the new toilet. He had quoted me, because he'd had to make some repairs to the flooring as well, that it would be between $500 and $600 at that point in time. So we're talking almost 2.5 years ago. So that toilet's been sitting there. Because that's when my dad got sick and went in the hospital. He had fallen, and then his breathing was bad. He didn't have COVID. He was in the middle of all that mess, but he didn't have COVID. But he ended up with congestive heart failure. And his breathing just sounded horrible. So I called the squad that night of the 9th. And so that was that Friday or Saturday night? I don't remember. Whatever night that was. And they took him to the ER, and then they wouldn't let me go with him because of the COVID stuff. I'm going to choose strength, I think. I think that would be, for me, the most useful. So then, like, while he's in the hospital, the toilet arrives. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I have already paid for it. So it's been sitting in its box in the kitchen for almost 2.5 years. So since we're having all this trouble with the toilet now, he's going to just switch it out for me. We're not going to worry about making the repairs to the flooring at the moment, because right now it's more important to stop the leaks. And I think, what's most important to you? Status, power, success, loyalty. I think that the more important thing is stopping the water, just getting the new one installed, because that old one is nothing but trouble. So hopefully, when he gets here tonight, he can at least turn the water off to it. We can get that water mopped up, and then tomorrow he'll put in the new toilet. Probably after the parade. There's a party in the park tomorrow. It's starting tonight at like 6 o'clock. I won't be home. I'll be at my training. I'm going to be getting home about the time he arrives, most likely. Then they'll have the parade in the morning, so I imagine after that parade, then we'll probably have him do the toilet. At least I know I can flush the toilet without having the water, because if you pour a container of water into the bowl, it flushes. That's how I've been flushing it the last couple days, because I've got all this water. I don't want to just dump it down the drain if I can use it to flush the toilet. And I don't know if flushing it is making it worse or not. I don't need it to keep refilling the tank. I'd like to empty the tank, but if I can't turn the water off, then it's just going to keep itself full. I tell you, it's always something, isn't it? What would turn you into a villain? My toilet! Oh, that's not a choice. I'm a natural born villain, baby. Vanity, jealousy, being excluded. I'm natural born, I think. my little black heart. So I'm into vampires and werewolves and bats and witches and ghosts. All that fun stuff. What's your favorite animal? I bet bat isn't going to be on there. Lion, raven, Dalmatian, three-headed dog. I'm going to pick a Dalmatian. I hope that doesn't turn me into Cruella de Vil, though. Raven's my second choice, because that's the closest thing to a bat. But of course, bats aren't a choice. Is this really going to give me an accurate which villain am I, how evil am I thing if the appropriate choices aren't even available? What would you say is your fatal flaw? Jealousy, bad temper. I could be melodramatic. I could be reckless. Yeah, probably my temper out of those four. You don't want to be on my bad side, that's for sure. And I'm one of those people who holds on to it and holds on to it and holds on to it, and then I'll explode. So when that time comes, you don't want to be anywhere close, because, yeah, it's bad. What scares you the most? Being ignored, being caught wearing a hideous outfit. I'm the thing everyone's scared of, death. I'm used to being ignored. That doesn't scare me. I don't care about my clothes, obviously. I mean, t-shirt and jeans, you know. I'm not really afraid of death all that much. It's more of ways to die than actually dying, if that makes sense. Death itself doesn't scare me, but it's like suffocation, strangulation, not being able to breathe, which is a potential death, a potential way to die. That scares me more than the actual death itself, if that makes sense. I don't know, I guess I'm the thing people are afraid of. Are people afraid of me? Are y'all afraid of me? Am I that scary? What's a pet peeve? Animal rights activists, people who chew with their mouth open, people who don't say thank you, people who are chronically late. Where's all of the above? Chronically late. My son, I swear, the child cannot be on time for anything. One of the trips we were on last year, when we were still working with the inventory company, there were a couple that shared a room, a couple of girls. I'm calling them girls. They're like, I don't know, probably in their 30s. They got children of their own, but they're younger than me. They're girls. They were sharing a room, and they were late getting to the van. So then when we were determining when to meet up the next day, I told them 15 minutes earlier than what the actual time was. So they're sitting there, and, it's not like the driver to be late. I said, he's not late. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, because the van time is like 1:30. I told you 1:15 because you were so late the day before. And I know he doesn't like it when people are late. They go, you mommed us? I said, you damn right I mommed you. I mom people a lot because I don't like being late. I have worked hard to overcome my lateness. What's your strongest quality? So it really drives me crazy if I'm trying to get somewhere on time and somebody else is causing me to be late. It's like this morning, my son had an appointment at 8:15. And I knew there was construction because they've been working on the road between here and where the place was he had to go. And I know that because it's like right around the corner from the place I'm going to be working. Or potentially working. I'm going to say my sense of humor. Scheme, sense of style, charm. I don't think I'm charming. I have a sense of humor. People do laugh sometimes when I come up with my little zingers. Anyway, I told him, I said, we have to leave no later than 7:30. I know it only takes like a half hour to get there, but I want to be early, and I knew there was construction and road work. And he screws around and screws around, and we always leave late. Even though I build in extra time, he's always still late. He was closer to on time today than usual. How do you deal with betrayal? Drag them to the underworld, put a curse on the betrayer, devise a plan to get rid of them, confront them. Oh, you don't want to get on my bad side, people. I'm telling you. I will confront you. I got in trouble in, I think it was middle school once, for fighting. And I said, what's your definition of fighting? And they were like, well, you know, if you lay your hands on somebody. I said, I never touched her. I backed her up against the wall. I put my finger in her face and I was yelling at her, but I didn't touch her. So I didn't get in trouble. They were like, just, you know, whatever. Try not to do that anymore. People thought you were going to hit her, and I'm like, I never got close to hitting her. She deserved it, but, you know. What's the best way to exact revenge? Attack them head on, take away something important to the other person, remove the person from the picture. Slow revenge is best. Slow revenge. They'll be expecting something right away, but no. It'll sneak up on them and be like, ha-ha! How important is loyalty to you? Didn't I already tell you that it was like the thing I value the most? Loyalty goes hand in hand with honesty, okay? Now, my ex-husband was not a loyal person. And he was less than honest. Several times I caught him in lies. And I used to work at Target before I moved, and one of these ladies that he worked with in one of his jobs that he had, he couldn't hold a job to save his life, but one of the temp jobs he had, a lady came and tracked me down at Target because for whatever reason he told her I worked there. And she found me, and she had printed off this whole conversation that they had had on Messenger about things he wanted to do to her and with her. And she's like, but I'm married and I have a baby. And he's like, that's okay, I have a young child too, and I don't think my wife will care, and you know, she's not home anyway, so you know, I could come over there and all this stuff. And she's like, I think you need to know what your husband's up to, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. Yeah. He couldn't figure out why I was upset about it. Hello, you're married to me. You shouldn't be trying to get your jollies with somebody else. Especially somebody who's married with a baby. And his response was, well, you know, I can bring my son over and they can play in the other room. Really? I don't think so. That's not right. Okay, where would your lair be located? a family manor in England, a palace in the underworld, a cozy cavern on a mountain. You know, let's have an English manor. That's probably making me Cruella. Because you know the underworld palace is going to be Hades. I really don't like how this is only giving you 4 options of who you can be. What's a good accessory for a villain to have? Fabulous fur coat, a scar with a dramatic backstory, a set of billowing black robes, a staff. I've got some scars. Billowing black robes. Oh, let's be dramatic. Let's have a scar. Why not? We already know this is a crappy quiz because they're not offering... Oh! What's your favorite color? Black! They've got one right! One of the options is actually one that applies to me. Purple would be my second choice. Followed by blue, then green. I tend to like the cool colors. Would you consider yourself vain? Please. No. I really don't care about fashion. If I'm going out someplace, I make sure my clothes are clean and try not to wear anything with holes. Try to wear things that match. But I don't call that vanity, you know. If I'm at home, half the time I don't even bother putting on pants. I've got pants on today because we've already been out and about. What's your favorite pastime? Scheming how to become more powerful, inventing fun new punishments, cursing people, hunting and drinking. So reading and watching YouTube's not a choice, huh? Might as well curse them then. What is it that Mushu says in Mulan? Is it a curse on you, a curse on your family, a curse on your cow, or whatever it is? Yeah, there you go. That'll be me. Maybe I'm Mushu. Maybe I'm the sidekick and not the villain. How do you wear your hair? On my head? Wrapped in cloth underneath my horns. My hair is burning fire on top of my head. Half black, half bleached white, long and natural. Well, I guess long and natural, although I do prefer it short. If I thought I could pull off the half black, half white, I would go for it, but it was black for a while. It was kind of a burgundy purple for a while. It was blonde once, and I said never again. I hated it. What would be your dream job? Fashion designer, king, teacher, mortician. Okay. So, growing up, I either wanted to be a teacher or a brain surgeon. I went to college. I got, a degree in education. I had a teaching license for a while, but it's since lapsed. I wouldn't be a teacher now. Oh, it's just in the last 10 to 15 years, it has changed so much from what I was training for. Because I got my degree in 2010, right? So that's, 12 years ago? It has changed so much in that 10 years, 12 years, that it's not recognizable at all as to what I trained for. the restrictions, the amount of testing, the oh, my brain just went. The curriculum, everything has changed so much, and more and more and more is put on the teachers, and they get less and less and less out of it. You don't have time to be creative and fun and make it engaging, because you have to hit all of these guidelines, all of these specific things in the curriculum, benchmarks and all that crap. And then you got parents chewing you out, telling you how they could be better at your job, blah, blah, blah. But they're not dealing with all the bureaucracy. No, I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I mean, I want to be a teacher, but not in the situation it is now. I don't want to be the person that gets dumped on and dumped on and dumped on and then becomes the scapegoat for it. Yeah, a person can only handle so much. That's why they're having teacher shortages, because they're treating the teachers like crap. So then in high school, the girl I was best friends with in high school, we decided that we should go to the School of Mortuary Science in Cincinnati and then become hit women for the mafia, so that when we opened our funeral home, mortuary, whatever, we'd always have business, because we would be taking people out and then they would be brought to our funeral home for us to process them. Mortician might be my thing. I live next door to a funeral home. I should go learn how to be a mortician. Like I said before, death doesn't really bother me. I might be a little squeamish, though, when it comes to inserting the needles and shit, but whatever. What's your favorite villain stereotype? Oh, they're showing me Ursula. Desire for power. I don't really care about power so much. Dark aesthetic. Obsession with luxury. Dark sense of humor. I wonder what the difference is between dark aesthetic and dark sense of humor. Is aesthetic going to take me to Cruella, or is it going to take me to Maleficent? Because luxury might be Cruella. I'm taking aesthetic to mean more of an all-encompassing, not just your fashion sense, but your, like, surroundings and general lifestyle. What could you eat right now? Well, I'm very hungry, so I could eat pretty much anything. Except worms. Yuck. Anything with a lot of black pepper. I do like pepper. Anything sweet or meat. We stopped at the store on the way home. The Freebie Friday thing at the local grocery was cookies. So we picked up our package of cookies. So I have something sweet out there. And I also picked up some meat that was marked down. We got some ribs, so I can make barbecue ribs. And I got some ground chuck. Well, ground round, I think it was. It wasn't chuck, it was round, I think. Hamburger. So, they were both just reduced this morning, and I was like, you know what? I had a good time. Unfortunately, they didn't have any of the bagged salad on the reduced. Got that last week. Salad and bananas that were marked down super cheap. But not this week. Those were either not happening or already gone. Right now, what do I want? I don't know, meat, I guess. Because I think that would tide me over more. I'll probably just have peanut butter and jelly or something, but maybe peanut butter and banana. I got a couple bananas I need to use up. But, I mean, they had bananas in the markdown last Friday when we went, and they were 39 cents a pound, which is great considering they're normally like 70 cents a pound or more. They used to be like 54 cents, but everything's gone up so much. Pick a quote. My only true love, darling. I live for furs. I worship furs. After all, is there a woman in all this wretched world who doesn't? Me. My favorite part of the game? Sudden death. You poor simple fools, thinking you could defeat me. Me, the mistress of all evil? Well, I was first in line until the little hairball was born. I'll be the mistress of all evil. Sure, why not? I'm not opposed to people wearing fur as long as they're not killing the animal just for the fur. If you're killing an animal for food and you use the fur as well, I'm okay with that. What couldn't you live without? Magic, privacy, fur coats, kingdom. Privacy. I like privacy. That's why I don't mind being ignored. Because that means they're not messing with me. And it's more privacy. Where would you love to live? Didn't they already ask us where we wanted to live? Somewhere in the country, somewhere high in the mountains, somewhere in a big city, anywhere dark and dreary. I'm a country girl. It's probably putting me in Cruella again. I like where I grew up. Because, yeah, it was out in the country. We lived on a farm. But we were also within 10 minutes of Dayton. And like a half hour-ish or so, maybe a little longer, to Springfield. And Huber Heights. And, you know, we had cities around. But I was on a farm. So I had access to stuff. But I could also be back off the road, enjoying privacy, things like that. So yeah, I'm a country girl. Where I am now, we're technically in town, because I live next door to the funeral home and across the street from the school. And, I mean, downtown is what? A bank and the post office? And it's like a block away. So, I'm in town. But there's nothing here. It might as well be the country. Did I not click that? Because I thought I did. What is your favorite dessert? Ooh, that looks good. What's that? Black forest cake, tiramisu, creme brulee, black and white cookies. Ooh, black forest cake or creme brulee? I'm not big on tiramisu because of the soaking the lady fingers in the coffee. We made a tiramisu once where we soaked it in blackberry syrup instead of the coffee, and it turned out really good. But we're not coffee drinkers, so tiramisu is not a thing for me. Black and white cookies are cookies. I mean, yeah. I like cookies. I love cookies. But that's not my favorite. Creme brulee. I do like a good creme brulee. I've only had it a few times, but it's been really good. You know, it's such a rich custard, and then that burnt sugar, that satisfying crunch when you tap into it. Do love creme brulee. The black forest cake. Chocolate and cherries. Ooh. That might be what this picture is. So that might be like a dried cherry And then, of course, the chocolate. Yeah, I right now, I think I would go for the Black Forest cake. But creme brulee is right there. That's a tough choice. Cookies are cookies, though. I mean, I'm happy with cookies, but what do you look for in an evil sidekick? Someone obedient, someone quick, someone strong, someone clever like me. I guess I'd want them to be obedient, wouldn't I? Clever would be good, though. So is strong. All of them are good options. I guess obedient, though, because if I want them to be working for me, then I want them to do what they're told, right? How would your friends describe you? Hilarious, beautiful, who needs friends, obsessed. Don't really have any close friends, so to say. I mean, the whole best friend thing flew out the window once I graduated college. So I have some more of acquaintances. What mood are you usually in? Happy, mean, greedy, grumpy. Somewhere between happy and grumpy. I'll be grumpy. Mostly because I'm tired. I haven't been sleeping well. What would you do if you won the lottery? Buy my way into power, use it to start a fashion empire, invest it somewhere. I'm a god, I don't need money. I guess out of these choices, I'd invest it. What I would really do is pay off my bills and see what's left, and then maybe I'd pay off the bills, fix the house, and then whatever's left, maybe do some travel, maybe buy a new car. I could use a new car. And my house does need some repairs. But I would like to travel. There's some places I'd like to see. I'd like to go back to school. Favorite type of car? Luxury car, classic car, sports car, Land Rover. Well, best car I ever owned was a Chrysler LeBaron convertible. Absolutely loved that car. Till my idiot ex-husband wrecked it. I loved my minivans. I was perfectly content with that. I think the 57 Chevy is awesome. So, you know, classic. I like that. Some of those old roadsters from the 30s, they're pretty cool. So that's kind of between a sports car and a classic. I think the convertible probably lands under sports car. I had a Mustang for a little while as well. It's not a bad car. It just didn't have a very powerful engine. It only had a little 4-cylinder. And down here in the hills, it couldn't make it up and down the hills. it struggled. What else? What other cars? Ooh, the Prowler. I'm between a classic and a sports car. Might as well go classic. Back when cars looked like something. Now they all look alike. I mean, I don't want my car to look like everybody else's car. I want it to look like my car. What are your favorite flowers? I doubt it's going to be on the list. I'll be surprised. Carnations, red roses, chrysanthemums, hibiscus. Calla lilies and black roses. And they're not on the list. Hibiscus makes good tea. Roses? Even though I prefer black over red? Or do I want the hibiscus? Doesn't matter. How many more questions? Shouldn't we be getting close to the end? Worst ending to a movie. It was all a dream. The villain loses unfairly. Yeah, that kind of sucked. I mean, you expect the villain to lose. But at least make it a fair fight, you know? How well do you control your emotions? Recently, I've been prone to outbursts. What do you think if you randomly come across someone crying? That's life. Find it disgusting. Find it hilarious. Wonder why they're crying and if there's some way I can exploit it. Well, I'd wonder why they were crying, but not necessarily to exploit it. It's not disgusting. It's emotion. That's life, I guess. Really wasn't expecting this video to take so long. But my computer's being super slow. You come across a street fight, what are you doing? Watch your fun, bet on the winner, ignore them, befriend the winner, and get them to do my bidding. Well, I'm probably gonna watch rather than ignore. I doubt I'm going to bet on anything. Come on. Well, I'm still working on the 30 hours in 30 days gaming thing for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I'll make sure to put the link in the description box. So if you are able to donate financially, it would be highly appreciated. I'll put the donation link. There's still time for people to join and do the challenge. We want to get the awareness out. It's a worthy charity. Research is important. And coming from the view of someone who luckily did not have a blood cancer, but had that scare just a year ago, I appreciate the fact that they're out there working to find cures and treatments and things, because if I would have come and had that diagnosis, I would be, hoping that they'd be able to find a cure for it. And I would imagine most other people would feel similarly. So if you are able to, please submit a donation. Right now, nobody has donated through my link. I can't financially, I'm down to like $5 in my checking account, so there's no money there for me to do it. If I had the money, I would do it, but I'm at least promoting it, getting the awareness out. I'm participating in the challenge. I attempted to do a live stream, which failed miserably. So I think maybe I'll try just doing a couple regular videos and posting those, if I'm home long enough to do it, and not doing something else like this. But it's definitely something to consider. Every dollar helps. And so there's my little spiel for that. I will make sure to put the link for that in the description box. I'll try to remember to put the link for this quiz there if you want to do it on your own. I'm kind of disappointed because it seems like it's leading to just those 4 characters. And I'm sorry, but there's a lot more villains out there than just those 4. Anyway, let's get back to it. What do you do at parties? Parties? I don't go to parties. Make myself the center of attention. I don't go to parties. Tell wild stories. Feel offended because no one invited me. I don't go to parties. Generally, I don't get invited, but I'm not offended about not being invited. Unless it's something I expected to be at. Like if it's a group I'm in and they invite everybody but me, then I'd be offended. But if it's just like random people having to get together, it doesn't bother me. I don't, like I said, I don't have close friends. I've got some acquaintances, I got people I call friends, but I wouldn't say that they're necessarily close friends. It's not like my bestie's going to go off and have a party without me because I don't have a best friend, How often do you lie? I'm lying right now, only when it's necessary, constantly, never lie, nor do I tell the whole truth. Only when necessary. Sometimes you need to, bend the truth a bit. What's your battle strategy? Using my money, power, and status to get my way, subtly manipulate those in power, see if I can get my enemies to destroy each other, remove my enemies' options so they have no choice but to forfeit. Oh, I'll get them to destroy each other. That way my hands are clean. Congrats, you finished. Here are your results. I'm Hades. From Hercules, you're the king of the underworld, and you're sarcastic as they come, hiding your malicious intent with humor. Fast talking your way into getting people to give you their souls. You'll do almost anything to get at your brother Zeus. Whatever. Yeah, I find this to be a disappointing quiz, since it only gave you 4 options. Okay, I got Hades, however, it only gives you 4 options, and my true spirit villain wasn't one of them. There, that way, if y'all want to do that, Facebook people. Okay, so there's that. Whatever. So, why isn't that? My computer's being stupid again. I closed that window and now it's back open. I don't know what it's doing. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. I mean, this has been, what, an hour now to do that little quiz. Partly because my computer was slow, and partly because I didn't realize I had to click next to get it to move on. We sat there for so long on that first question. Whatever. Only proves I'm human, right? But hey, you got a bonus book haul. I got so much crap piled up on my bed, I need to put stuff away. Yeah, that's the book haul right here. Yeah, I need to move stuff, put stuff away. It's always something in it. Anyway, let's see, I gotta leave here in about 2 hours so I can go finish doing the computer part of my training and then do the CPR training tonight. I may not be home again until like between 9:30 and 10. Which is about the time I expect my brother to get here. Yay. It's going to be a long night. Like I was saying, I haven't been sleeping well. I'll go to bed, or I'll be sitting here watching a video on YouTube, right? And next thing I know, it's 2 hours later, and I have no idea how I got to the video I'm on, because the one I was watching, I fell asleep during. Well, then, I'd be like, well, obviously I'm tired, so I'll go to bed. As soon as my head hits the pillow, it's like, and I'm wide awake. I have been waking up, like today, I woke up at 2:30 this morning. It's 12:14 now, so it's just after noon. I've been up all this time because I couldn't go back to sleep. I tried and tried, and I just could not sleep. And I was just like, whatever, I give up. You know, my alarm was set for 6:45 to give me enough time to get up, go to the bathroom, get dressed, all that fun stuff, before I had to take my son to his appointment. Only to find out when we got there that their phones are down, so they couldn't call us, and their computers are down, so really it was pointless for us to be there. Because he couldn't even take him back into the office to go over things because he couldn't use the phone or the computer. But he had no way to contact us because their phones are down. And it's just like, really? He's like, well, we'll make an appointment for next Friday. Great. I don't know what I'm doing next Friday. I don't know what my schedule is next week. I'm hoping to find something out tonight. But they may not call me till Monday morning and say, hey, can you come in? I don't know how this training thing's going to work. So now I got to be like, I can't do Friday afternoon because I have to take my son to this appointment that we just got today. So it's not like I knew about it ahead of time. And I told the guy, I said, I don't know what my schedule's going to be. It's a brand new job. I don't know what next week has, what it's going to be yet, because we're just starting training. And he was like, oh yeah, I know the people you're working for. They're really good people. I'm sure they'll be cool with it. But if for some reason you can't, call me as soon as you know, so that we can reschedule. And I'm like, how is rescheduling going to help? Because I don't know what kind of hours I'm working yet. If I work what the owner, the guy that interviewed me, was telling me, then I'll be working like midnight to 8 a.m. That won't be a problem. Unless he wants like an 8:15 appointment, that's not going to work. Because, I won't be able to get home in 15 minutes, let alone there and back in 15 minutes. So, once I know what kind of schedule I'm going to have, I don't know if I'm going to have a set schedule or if I'm going to be kind of all over the place, because the girl doing our orientation yesterday made it sound like we might be scheduled with this person on one day, with this other person on another day, with somebody else on another day. Where during my interview, it was like, yeah, you'll be at this place Monday through Thursday from 12 to 8. If that's where you end up being placed. And I'm like, that sounds good to me. I'm a night owl. Give me the midnight to 8. I'm fine with that. So then this waking up at 2 a.m. and not being able to sleep won't be a big deal. Hell, half the time I'm not even going to bed until 6 or 7. So, but if I try to go to bed earlier, I just can't sleep. So if I'm already not going to bed until 6, 7, 8 in the morning, then 12 to 8 is not going to be a big deal for me. So I kind of hope that's where I end up. And I found out that's the owner's son's house that I would be working in then. Because it's a place called Inclusions, and they work with developmentally disabled adults. I met this person whose house I would be at Tuesday when I went in to do the first part of my computer stuff. I didn't think he seemed like he was developmentally disabled, but he is in a wheelchair and things. So, there's that. But as long as I don't have to lift him, we'll be fine. Like I said, I don't have a lot of upper body strength, so I'm not going to be good at lifting people. But when we were interviewing, he's like, yeah, you won't have to do that with him. He's pretty independent and, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, that's fine then, And he seemed like a pretty cool dude. We sat and talked for a little bit while I was waiting for my training to start, because I got there a little early. And it was kind of cool getting to know him and talking to a couple of the other people that were there. And, all that the clients want is to have the same rights as everybody else, to be treated like everybody else. Okay, maybe they need some help, but everybody needs help from time to time, right? So going in with that mindset is they just want somebody there to help, and it's not so bad. Some people are going to need more help than others. There are going to be people who have to be lifted and what have you, and I'm going to have to make sure that they understand on the lifting. I don't think the girl doing the orientation understood that was one of my limitations. I mean, I've got my limitations too. So, because one of my concerns was, if a house has stairs, and they're like, well, this particular house won't because he's in a wheelchair, so there's going to be ramps and things. So chances are, if there's a step, it's going to be like one step, and it's not going to be, everything's going to be accessible because it has to be for the client. Okay, great. So, as long as there's limited stairs, I don't do ladders, and I'm not good at lifting. I've got arthritis in both hands, so I mean, there are days when I can barely, type on the computer or anything, so, because I'll be in so much pain. So I made sure when we were doing the interview that I made him aware of some of those things, and he's like, yeah, we'll work around that. No problem. Well, working with people that have other disabilities and limitations, it kind of makes sense that they would make accommodations for their employees as well. So hopefully the job is more what was described by the person that did my interview and less what was described by the person doing the orientation. I'm a little concerned. I'm nervous. It is something new for me. It's a job I've never done before. So I'm not sure. I'm nervous. And I'm concerned because I'm getting two completely different scenarios of what the job's going to be. I would prefer to be a set schedule at one location. I don't want to be driving around. I'm not a driver, and I don't want to be responsible for somebody else. I don't like to drive. I only drive to get from point A to point B because I have to. I don't drive for fun. I would be quite happy to never drive. Anyway. Whatever. I guess I should probably let y'all go. I mean, it's what, an hour and 17 minutes or so now? Since we started this whole crazy thing. So, remember to check the description box for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society if you wish to donate. Every little bit helps. Do all the YouTube things, comment, like, share, subscribe, all that. Ring the bell icon if you want to be notified. I'm still not getting notifications for half the people that I've clicked that for, so you may or may not get notified, but you have a better shot at getting notified. I'm finding more and more that people I'm subscribed to, I'm not getting their stuff in my feed, which is concerning. But something that I maybe stumble across and watch one video of, but I don't subscribe to, then I get my whole feed is full of that. I think the YouTube algorithm's a little confused. Just because I watched one video doesn't mean I want all my videos to be that, or all my videos to be by that person. I have things I subscribe to because I want to watch their stuff. This was a one-off. That doesn't mean that's all I want to watch, even though it seems like that's all they want me to watch. At least it's gotten out of the, trying to get me to watch the same 5 videos over and over. There are, Cinema Snob, I like him, and he does, like, the whole year. So he did, like, 1980, and he's done 1981. And for the longest time, every time I'd watch a video, the next video would be either 1980 or 1981. I've already seen them. I don't need to see them every time I turn on YouTube. If I'm showing me something different by this person, not the same thing I've already watched, or they'll show me, like, Nostalgia Critic, his commercial compilation. I've already seen it. I don't need to see it over and over and over and over. And then there's 2 or 3 other ones that it likes to show me all the time. The Try channel, which the Irish people try various things. It always wants me to watch their advent calendars. I've seen it. I don't want to watch that every day. Show me with their new stuff. Don't show me this stuff I've already watched. I don't think the algorithm is quite working for me because it always wants to show me the things I've already seen. And it doesn't want to show me things by people I'm subscribed to. It wants to show me things by somebody I watched a one-off video for. So you may or may not get notified if you ring the bell, but you have a better shot at it. Hopefully if you're subscribed, you're actually getting my videos because, I don't know, it's weird. My sad attempt at a live stream, it said that I had 5 people at one point. And I never saw that because I was playing the game. I couldn't see if there was any chat or if there was anybody viewing. Even though I had the screen up on my TV, seeing what was actually being viewed by people watching it, I didn't see any chat stuff, any of that. So I don't know. It was kind of, maybe I did something wrong. But I had such a lag. It went from being a couple seconds lag to like being 5-minute lag. And it was so slow. And then it just randomly shut off. And that was the program. That wasn't me. That was YouTube just because I guess I had a fluctuation or something in my internet and it just cut me off. So I didn't even get to end the video. It just ended itself. So, but the analytics say I had 5 people viewing. Well, one of those was me, so that means there was 4 other people, but I didn't know about it until the video was done and the analytics showed me. I don't know. Anyway, so we went through a quiz and we did a mini book haul during the quiz because I'm too stupid to realize that I had to click a link. I thought it was going to be like a lot of the quizzes, you just click on the thing you want to choose and then it goes to the next thing. I was waiting because the little thing down in the corner of the screen, it was showing me that it was trying to connect. And I thought it was trying to connect to the next screen. But it wasn't. It was trying to connect to probably an ad or something that it was trying to show me on the screen I was already on. So here I am waiting and waiting and waiting when I could have been going through the quiz. I don't know, I just found it disappointing. But anyway, maybe you like those 4 particular characters and you want to be one of those 4. I am Ursula. My spirit villain is Ursula. I will always be Ursula. I kind of look like her, except I don't have tentacles. Anyway, it is what it is. We did a quiz. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description box. I'll put the other stuff in there. But yeah, that's all I've got for today, and I've managed to ramble on for another 6 or 7 minutes, so I'm going to actually let you go this time. Bye.